band. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may have noticed that our screens are not on this morning. We're having a few technical difficulties, so we're going to be singing some material that you probably already know and surrendering our plans. Ready? I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. Yes, this is the day. Please welcome Miss Tatiana Mox. Here we go. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made.
So delighted that you've decided to join us for our celebration service this Sunday. This is the time in this service where we get to greet and welcome one another with a handshake, a hug, a holy high five, or if you prefer no contact, just give us one of these.
the day. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. That the Lord has
Well, we're doing a little throwback Sunday with our screens being out. Remember when a real live person did the announcements? And remember, they didn't always do them perfectly. So if I make any mistakes today, it's because I want to just honor the retro vibe of this. So we have this Saturday, Unity Women at 2 o'clock in the bookstore. Irene Greaves will be presenting on lovescaping. If you want to know more about that, what that is, you're going to need to go to the website. And then on Thursday, May 23rd, many of you have participated in this before. It's Joshua Ignacio doing his Sound Alchemy and Divine Blueprint. And this happens in the pyramid. He has all kinds of instruments and creates a real harmony and resonance in the room. So you're going to want to be in person for that. You can bring your yoga mat, get comfortable. And then finally, I want to tell you about a Connecting Across the Veil event. Now, this is our community member and medium and psychic, Amy Hageman. And this is going to be on Zoom on Saturday, May 25th. And Amy really wants to share what she has learned about connecting with loved ones on the other side. And she'll also be doing some readings. So you can find out how to register for all of these by visiting unityhouston.org. Thank you.
Greens, we've got Stacy. We're good. I want to let you know about a couple other things. First of all, May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so we just want to take a moment to honor and acknowledge the contributions and accomplishments of all of the AAPI folks here in our community, but also in the world. So let's just give some love and appreciation for all those wonderful AAPI members. The second thing I want to let you know about is I'm going to bring Carol Money to the stage, and she's going to tell you about something else. So Carol, please welcome Carol.
Summer camp starts in less than a month. It is on June the 10th through the 14th, and it is from 9 to 3:30 p.m., and there is before and after care. And this is a camp unlike any other in Houston. You know, a lot of kids' camps will focus on, there's drama camp or art camp or soccer camp. Well, this is a spiritual camp where we will be presenting unity principles through fun activities like arts and crafts, and did I mention it's a ton of fun. So it's unlike anything else in Houston. So you've heard the saying that it takes a village. Well, we are asking for you, our Unity Village, for support. And there's 3 ways that you can support us. Many of you have heard of the 3 T's: time, talent, and tithe. So with your time, we need a lot of help, and you do not need to be there for the entire day. Any block of time that you have is a big help. So if you're an early morning person, you can come during the morning check-in. You know, as many of you know, we have kids or grandkids. They all come at the same time, and it's a madhouse. So we can use help during that time. Or in the late afternoon when the parents pick up their kids, we can use help. And any time in between, just for an hour to help pass out the snacks or to help with a particular game or activity, your help is appreciated and it's needed. The number 2 is talent, and we really need your talent here. So if you can help us to get the word out, if you are on Facebook or on Nextdoor, and you can post that on your social media to help us get the word out, we appreciate that. Or if you're not on social media, we have these door hangers that you can put on the doors. If you live in a multi-family complex, like an apartment complex or townhomes, then you can put these on the doors of families that have children. Or if you go to the park and strike up a conversation with the parent and family, or even coffee houses and libraries, they have a community bulletin board where you can post events. So we will have these in the lobby after the service. And the third T is your tithe. So the cost for a child is $150 per week, and that can be a hardship for many families. So if you can support with a tuition of one child or two, or even half the tuition, or even $5 or $10, because we will consolidate all of the donations and we will support families and children in need. So I will be in the lobby along with Mark after the service to answer any questions you have. So I look forward to talking to you then. Thanks.
Thank you, Carol. Excellent. Mwah. Amazing. She is a very good salesperson for that. So we did not plan this, and this is not faked, but the screens went out on the day that we're going to be talking about this mini capital campaign to replace them. How about that? So as some of you know, this is our 20th anniversary of this building, which we're going to be celebrating in the fall for Homecoming Sunday. Reverend Howard Caesar will be here. Reverend Patricia Bass will be coming back, who was she was actually the project manager on the construction of this building. So it's going to be a wonderful date, and what we'd like to do between now and then is spruce up the campus. So we have 3 areas that we're asking for your contributions, financial contributions. There are also going to be some work days. We're going to ask for your sweat equity too. So I like that time, talent, and tithe. We're just talking about tithe right now, though. We would like for you to consider the AV renovations, which include these screens. And we've gotten 3 bids. We have a good idea of how much it's going to cost. And we have a single donor who's agreed to do a matching fund grant. So every $1 that you contribute towards AV renovations in the sanctuary is $2. So let's get this done. So we'll have beautiful, state-of-the-art, LED, bright screens that even on a sunny day will look great in this building. So that's the big one. Some other upgrades in that area. We also have some other repairs and spruce-ups we need in the campus, on the courtyard here in the building. And then lastly, our trees need some love. So we're asking for you to contribute to one of those 3 areas so that we can get the campus just really shining and beautiful as we celebrate this fall. Did I get all that right, Stacy? All right, and you go to helpful links. That's if you look on unityhouston.org, and there's a list of things out there, and it's the very last one of the helpful links. Click on there, and we would appreciate your financial support in making that happen. All right, that's a lot of talking. Those screens really give us a break. We don't have to talk so much when that's up there. If you're new here, if this is your first Sunday with us, we just thank you so much for being with us. And we have a gift for you out in the lobby. You'll see a table that has lots of gift bags with beautiful tissue coming out of them. That's for you, for being you and being here today. You have a present, and your presence is the present. But we want to give you a gift as well. And we'd also encourage you to talk to the team there and find out more about our campus, more about our community, and if you would, fill out a connection card while you're there. If you're online, we would ask that you do the same thing. Sorry, we don't have the tissue in the bag, but what we do have is the connection card. We would love for you to fill that out and let us know how you found out about us, and whether or not you would like to be on our email list. What I'd like to say is that wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are most welcome here at Unity. We have a wide door. We understand that all of us have a unique relationship to the infinite that I call God. And we like to create a space of openness, of mutual growth and support. And if that feels like what you're looking for, we may be your church. Thank you so much. Today is a very special day. It is Mother's Day, and we have a beautiful slideshow, which you're not going to see. So we're going to run it next week. So next week you will see all of your photographs that you submitted for our Mother's Day slideshow. We'll do 1 week later. But I would like to acknowledge right now, for every person in the room who is a mom, grandmother, or you hold that role in someone's life, would you please stand so we can just wish you a happy Mother's Day. We love you, moms. Thank you so much for what you bring. At the end of the service today, for all the women in our community, we ask that we have a flower for you. And so you'll be given that by the ushers and greeters as you leave today, just a token of our love and appreciation for the beauty that you bring to your family and to our community. This is a prayer that's become a tradition in the last few years that I read on Mother's Day, recognizing that the day can be a lot. And so this is a beautiful prayer written by a woman named Amy Young, which I think captures a lot of the essence of what I would like to say today. Today we acknowledge the wide continuum of mothering. To those of you who gave birth this year to your first child, we celebrate with you. To those who lost a child this year, we grieve with you. To those who are in the trenches with the little ones every day and wear the badge of food stains, we appreciate you. And to those who experience loss through miscarriage or failed adoptions or running away, we mourn with you. To those who walk the hard path of infertility, fraught with pokes, prods, tears, and disappointment, we walk with you. Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make this harder than it is. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have a warm and close relationship with your children, we celebrate that with you. And to those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with your children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. And to those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and the overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having you in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we stand in that possibility with you. And to those who step-parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. And to those who have envisioned lavishing love on grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. And to those who will have emptier nests in the upcoming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. To those who have placed children up for adoption, we commend you for your selflessness and remember how you hold that child in your heart. To those who are pregnant with new life, both expected and surprising, we anticipate with you. This Mother's Day, this community walks with you. Mothering is not for the faint of heart, and we have real warriors in our midst. We remember you. We love you. Thank you so much. That's our time for our collective spiritual practice, so I invite you to get settled in and allow this beautiful song that Ken's going to sing for us to take us into our hearts as we prepare for our meditation.
This is the path I've chosen. It's like I've always known. This road will lead me home. I am part of something. God's light shines on everyone, and through my heart forever knowing I am loved.
If you haven't done so, I invite you to close your eyes and open your heart and just breathe with me. Breathing in and breathing out. Just notice the quality of that breath. Is it shallow or deep? Is it easy or constricted? And if you can, open that breath up a little bit. Taking it in a little deeper, letting everything out on the exhale.
And just follow the breath from the top to the bottom, in and out. And this is a simple way of practicing mindful awareness. Not following thoughts as they occur, but instead coming back to the breath again and again. What I notice is that it allows me to drop my shoulders, to relax my arms, my legs, my belly. Just being here in this beautiful room, surrounded by loving hearts and souls. Welcoming those who are joining us in this practice from their own home or wherever they are. This is such an individual endeavor, this practice of meditation. And yet I always notice a different quality when I meditate with others. I feel supported. A phrase from the song that Ken just sang that Gary wrote, I'm part of something. God's light shines on everyone. And even though this conscious connection with higher power, with source energy, with loving creator happens in me individually, when I connect with that one power, I remember that we're all connected. We're all living the life of God with every breath. And we who are now in this practice of conscious breathing, of mindful meditation, we are connected in a deep, powerful way in this moment. So let's just breathe together. Feel this connection. Feel this community, this unity. There is such peace in this moment. Peace that is not dependent upon outer circumstances changing. It's that peace of God that guards our hearts and minds, an internal arising of well-being. We breathe into the peace of God right now. God is here. All is well. I'm aware of the presence of love. So many sitting here in the sanctuary this morning with their moms and moms with their children. Friends who've been in this community together for decades. People who are new or who are meeting new friends here. And wherever we are, just invite an awareness of how loved and connected and supported we are by those who walk the path with us, and how much we love and care and support those that we walk this path with. Let us breathe into the quality of love for a few spaces of breath. And I also feel light. Light is such a beautiful metaphor for the presence and power of the One. But it also has this other meaning of we've lowered our burden. We're carrying less baggage. We can be lighter after this connection. And what I notice is when I am in this space of lightness, of being in both ways, I can see that light in other people more easily, more readily. And so let us breathe into this space the light of God, and recognizing that everyone shines with that same light. We are the light of the world, just as Jesus told us we are. God is peace. I am peace. God is love. I am love. God is light. I am light. We give thanks for this precious time spent in this practice. We give thanks for this beautiful, welcoming community. And we give thanks for this life of God that we live and experience. Amen.
Sometimes in the middle of the day, a still small voice calls me away from all my worries and all my pain, like a mother to a child who knows just what to say. And my heart is filled with a hope I've never known. Darkness fades in the light that shows, and I know why I've traveled this road. This voice is telling me I'm already home. I see myself worthy. I see myself strong. I see myself standing right where I belong. I can feel my heart soaring, open and free. I can finally see myself as you see me. Sometimes in the middle of the night, when the world is quiet, yet nothing seems right, I find myself asking for the reasons why. Then you come to me as the morning light. I see my finally see myself as you see me. When you see me unwhole again, and in my heart I know that even when I had lost my way, I never really was alone. Though I may be weary and losing sight of all my strength and all my might, I've got the courage and I've got the fight, but most of all, I've got you right here by my side. I see myself worthy, I see myself strong, I see myself standing right where I belong. I can feel my heart soaring, open and free. I can finally see myself. I can finally see myself as you see me.
Gary, you wrote that for Ken to sing, right? There's no church in the world you're going to hear that song, but here today, I mean, that was created right here. Incredible. Beautiful. What a gift of great art, Gary's writing and Ken's voice, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness, we are so blessed. We're going to talk about Mother's Day, but other things. I have a couple of funny little things, but there was one that I got added last minute, so I've got to find it. And maybe I'm not meant to do it because I don't see it. So I'm going to take that as oh, this is pretty good though. Keep the dream alive. Press the snooze button. I thought that was good. All right, now let me go over to my talk now. This is a mother who tweeted. I'm not on Twitter anymore. Somebody told me it's like mean high school all the time. So I don't do Twitter, but this is pretty funny. Today I worked from home, ran 10 miles, homeschooled my kids, cleaned the house, made a delicious dinner, got my kids to bed early. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you lie. So yeah, we do honor moms today. It's just an impossible job to get right 100% of the time. And I know that there's a friend of mine who just said that every mother I know, she's a youth minister, she said every mother I know has mom guilt. And every person I know has mom issues. You know, the therapists always say if it's not one thing, it's your mother. It's complex. It's the first relationship, the most important relationship, and it's got a lot. And today what I want to do, we're bringing part 2 of this 4-part series I'm doing on the 4 mantras for life, but I thought this was the perfect topic to talk about Mother's Day because I'm talking about paying attention. And we can pay attention, we can honor our mothers for all they are and all they're not, and we can honor mothers who are, if you are a mom, you can honor yourself in your mothering for all you are and all you're not. It's okay. The 4 mantras created by, she didn't actually create these phrases, Dr. Angeles Arian, but she is a cross-cultural anthropologist. And what she does, or did, she passed away about 10 years ago, she studied all of these indigenous cultures for the wisdom that these people had and practiced that we could bring into our modern world in a way that would benefit us. And she, in this beautiful way, encapsulated it in 4 easy statements. Show up, pay attention, tell the truth, and don't be attached to results. Isn't that simple and easy? Like, I even remembered it without even looking at my iPad. And last week we talked about showing up. It's the way of the warrior, that we step into the space needed by us so that we can be, as Emerson always says, I mean, always, he's been dead a long time too, for 100 years, but my favorite quote is, "The fact that I am here shows me that the soul had need of an organ. Shall I not assume the post?" Each of us is uniquely created, gifted, empowered to bring something to humanity at this time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But do we show up? And that is the way of the warrior, because it requires courage for us to show up in our authenticity, for us to show up and bring what we have to bring into what's needed. But this is the way of the healer. Week 2, it's to pay attention. I just want to read a little bit from her wonderful book, The Fourfold Path. Many native cultures believe that the heart is the bridge between Father Sky and Mother Earth. For these traditions, the four-chambered heart, the source for sustaining emotional and spiritual health, is described as being full, open, clear, and strong. These traditions feel that it's important to check the condition of the heart daily, asking, am I full-hearted, open-hearted, clear-hearted, and strong-hearted? Isn't that beautiful? So when we're asking ourselves to pay attention, walking the path of the healer, we're paying attention to the heart and what the heart holds as meaningful, what really matters. This is also from her book, Angeles Arian. The archetype of the healer is a universal mythic structure that all human beings experience. Among indigenous cultures, the healer supports the principle of paying attention to what has heart and meaning. Healers in all major traditions recognize that the power of love is the most potent healing force available to all human beings. Effective healers from any culture are those who extend the arms of love, acknowledgement, acceptance, recognition, validation, and gratitude. Let's just talk about this for a moment, this idea of being clear-hearted, open-hearted. I've got to read my notes again. Make sure I get all 4 of them in there. Full-hearted, open-hearted, clear-hearted, and strong-hearted. As I was reflecting on these this week, I kept coming back to this idea of being strong-hearted, because the opposite would be weak-hearted. What it means is it really goes back to the way of the warrior, doesn't it? I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to be here fully. And it's not always easy. I mentioned it's not just being a mother that is fraught, that is hard sometimes. Being a human being requires so much. And we must be strong-hearted. And I'm thinking, too, about the particular times that we live in. Did anyone else know that this is an election year? Did anyone know that? In the United States of America. And we live in the most politically divided times. Some say ever, at least since the Civil War. Some say maybe the late 60s were another parallel when we were so divided culturally and politically. How do we show up as a healer in this? What I'm aware is that I want to just go get some cookies and hide. That's what I want to do, because that's comforting. But is that strong-hearted? No. I have that same thing happen when difficult situations arise here at Unity. Sometimes I just want to can't we just say an affirmation and I'll get along again? No. It requires that we tell the truth, and that's next week, I know, but that we be strong-hearted, that we're to be a healer today. We've got to be strong. We've got to be authentic. We have to be in touch with something that is deeper than this circumstance, that is willing to be in this circumstance with you, and that is a strong heart. That's what's needed. For those fellow travelers in the recovery world like me, you know this. That what is required to heal, to get better, to overcome all of these difficulties that we face, we've got to be strong-hearted. I often say that I do have some gifts and talents, I know this, but I think my greatest talent is I know just how to not quit. I do. I know how to do that. I know how to not quit. And that has served me probably better than anything else that I have in my arsenal. I just know how to keep showing up. My story that I tell about that is, you could outrun me in a sprint, but I'll outlast you in the marathon. I know how to just keep going. And I'm grateful for that. I think I got a lot of that from my mom and my dad. I was thinking about Mother's Day when I was a kid. We used to have, my mom had, I don't know why they were hers, not ours, but she had 2 rose bushes. One was white and one was red. And they weren't anything fancy. They were just there. I think they might have been there when they bought the house. I don't know. But we had a tradition in Oklahoma where I grew up where everyone wore a flower to church that morning, and those whose mothers were still living wore a red flower, a carnation or a rose, and then those whose mothers had passed wore white. And when I was little, my dad and my older brother and myself, my mom would go out, or I think my dad would go pick the little rosebuds, and the 3 of us boys would wear the red, and my mom wore white. And it was just the way we did it. We'd go to our little country Methodist church, and then they would give a fancy store-bought corsage to the oldest mother and to the mother that had the most kids. And Betty Allen won that every year. She had a bunch of kids. But I was reflecting this morning about, it was just a thing. And now looking back, I can feel some of my mother's sadness at wearing that white rose. Her mother died at, I think, 56, young, breast cancer. She died when I was 2. I have no memories of my maternal grandmother. And I was thinking, too, about what that must have taken from my mom with a little baby whose mother was dying. I tell you, my love for my mom grew this morning in a deeper way because I hadn't really thought about what that must have been like for her to be losing her own mother and caring for this little boy. And I think maybe, if those of you who have done the Enneagram work, you know that the heart-centered types, our primary feeling is one of sadness, and it's always present in me. And it's okay, it's human. And I think maybe I have access to that because of my mom, and I know that she also has some sadness. And she's also a great joke teller and really loves to tell funny stories and laughs really big. But I just have such an appreciation this morning for those memories and that white rose of my mother and the fact that she gave me so much. Some of you saw on the news that there was an F4 tornado that hit Oklahoma this week, and it was my hometown. The town where my mother lives, my brother lives, my nephew lives, and my brother's church is there, and 40 homes completely destroyed. My mom's okay, and their homes are okay. The church was damaged. 2 members of my brother's church had completely lost everything. I wasn't going to tell this story, but I will. My mom has a house guest, one of her classmates from high school, 2 84-year-old little ladies sitting in my mom's house when this tornado came, and of course, terrifying. My mom said she had to pull out a whole bunch of clothes from her walk-in closet, and they pulled 2 chairs in there, and they sat, and terrified, obviously. But the reason that my mom's friend Ida is staying with her is because her sister, Dorothy, is ill, and she thought this might be her last chance to spend time with her sister, but she's going to be okay, it seems like. But she is bedridden, and she was in her home with her younger son, Carl. She had an older boy that died in COVID, who was a classmate of mine, Joe Bob. Very Oklahoma. But Carl was there, and the tornado starts coming it was a Monday night, Monday night, about 11 o'clock at night. And she was like, just leave me here, I'll be fine. And he was like, no, it's coming. And he grabbed her, his mom, pulled her out of the bed, and they went to the little bathroom, and he said they were just halfway in when the house exploded. And the debris just showered down around them, and he's got cuts and bruises. He sheltered his mother with his own body, and they survived, and they're fine. And that wall that they were sheltered against is the only one standing. Isn't that amazing? So I don't know exactly what that has to do with what we're talking about today, except that that's strong-hearted, isn't it? Just to be together in those dark times and tough times and sheltering each other when needed. I think that's what's being asked for from all of us now in a different way. That we show up with that kind of fierce love, that energy to protect each other at all costs, to hold each other. And who better exemplifies that than mothers? But how beautiful it was the son that sheltered his mom. Let's see if I can find my way back to what I was going to talk about today. My second point, to be real. I heard an interview on an old podcast with Dr. Arian talking about this, and she mentioned this piece, that there are 4 questions that a shaman or a healer or a medicine woman or a medicine man in indigenous culture would often ask when someone came to them just in a funk, in a low spot, dispirited, disheartened. And Gabrielle Roth, who is the person who I'd seen this quote attributed to, but I don't know if that's right or not. But these are the 4 questions that the indigenous healers ask when people are disheartened. When did you stop singing? When did you stop dancing? When did you stop being enchanted with stories, and particularly your own life story? And when did you stop finding comfort in the sweet territory of silence? These are all questions that point us back to the heart. It is the heart that sings and dances and finds comfort in silence. It is the heart that connects to the story of others and to our own story. Sometimes we get so busy that we miss the meaning of everything, or is that just me? Attending to the tyranny of the urgent, that I miss the important. And so the call today to walk this path of the healer is to pay attention to what's important and to what is real. My dear friend Maggie Cole, who will be here in 2 weeks. She's going to be leading a workshop after a church. She lives in California. I just adore her. She's a brilliant spiritual teacher. But my favorite question that she asks, and she asks me quite a bit, what's alive in you, honey? What's alive in you, honey? As a matter of fact, those of you who are willing, just turn to someone and say, what's alive in you, honey? Whoever it is, just go ahead and do it. The honey's important. Thank you. And I appreciate you adding the honey in there. That meant a lot to me and to Maggie. But what's alive? What's real? What means something? Our deepest healing will come when we are most in touch with what is most real within us. There's a story, a children's book that, honestly, I don't know if I've ever read it. I know it. But I've heard speakers share this passage, and I've always loved it, and I don't know why I never have. Maybe because it's a little longer. So I'm going to take some of that slideshow time, and I'm going to read it now. And today it just wants to be read. This is from the Velveteen Rabbit. The skin horse had lived longer in the nursery than any of the others. He was so old that his brown coat was bald in patches and showed the seams underneath. And most of the hairs in his tails had been pulled out to string bead necklaces. He was wise, for he had seen a long succession of mechanical toys arrive to boast and to swagger, and by break their springs and pass away. And he knew that they were only toys, and they would never be anything else. For nursery magic is very strange and wonderful, and only those playthings that are old and wise and experienced, like the skin horse, understand all about it. What is real? Asked the rabbit one day when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender before Nana came to tidy the room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside of you and a stick-out handle? Real isn't how you are made, said the horse. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. But when you are real, you don't mind being hurt. Does it happen all at once, like being wound up, he asked, or bit by bit? It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily or who have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, or your eyes drop out, or you get loose in the joints and you're very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly except to people who don't understand. Isn't that powerful? There's such wisdom and such heart in that story. To be real does not mean being perfect. Do I need to say that again? To be real doesn't mean getting it perfect. The greatest healing power we have, as this story illustrates, is loving someone authentically and receiving the love of another imperfect person who's willing to make you real by loving you just as you are, probably irritated with you sometimes, definitely irritated with you sometimes. This is the essence of the healer, is to be real, strong-hearted, allow ourselves to be seen and held just as we are. The third point today, it came from another podcast interview that I had heard with Angelus Arian. And she said, when we're paying attention, when we're doing this second path of the fourfold way, when we're seeking to walk the way of the healer, one of the things we have to do is pay attention to who is showing up at our gate. I thought that's a great phrase. Who is showing up at our gate? It actually comes from a Buddhist teaching. Sometimes people are showing up at your gate. They're wearing different skin and have different names and different faces, but it's the same person that keeps showing up at your gate. Anybody else know what I'm talking about? There's a pattern in relationship that we have. And this is where your healer is being asked for. To pay attention, to be strong-hearted, to be real. Dr. Jill Carroll spoke here early on in my time here. This was, probably 2011. And she was sharing something on this same topic, and Jill and I are still good friends, and I just love her. And she said, sometimes we find ourselves companioning people that we never thought we would companion. And sometimes the companions that we thought that would be with us for the distance are gone. The people that we thought would be our people forever are not our people any longer. And the people that we never wanted to be our people are our people. They're here. To show up and to pay attention is to love those who are at your gate and be willing to be real with them. Paula D'Arcy says, God comes to us disguised as our own lives. I love that. The curriculum of your enlightenment journey is you and the people that come into your life, because that's who you have attracted. So let's finish this today by talking about mothers again. This is big time scripture. This is top 10 scripture from Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your father and mother, then you will live a long time in the land that God is giving you. What does that mean? Last week I talked about the power of showing up, and it was funny because we had a lot of storms, so it was a very light attendance here for the 11 o'clock service. But I was saying, if you've been watching us from home, I'm going to encourage you to show up, get out of your pajamas and come here. We had the volunteer celebration after. I think we had more people at the party than we had at the service, and several of them came up to me and said, I was going to stay home, but you told me to show up. Here I am. Where's the food? Give me a cupcake. To honor our mother. And I don't know if you noticed, but everybody has one. See, the mother-child relationship is the most primary. And so Your mother is always at your gate. And there is always more work to be done in your own healing about reconciling the mothering you did or did not receive. And to honor the mother, I believe, from a metaphysical path, it means to make space to allow all of it to be real and to allow your mother to have been a real person with real struggles and real wounds from her mother all the way back, and fathers. But I'll talk about you in June. And so all of us are invited today to honor our mother, to heal our own heart. And for those of us who are blessed to still have a mother that is here, that we are in relationship with, of semi-good standing, I don't know what that would mean for you to bring more of that real allowing and honoring of who she is, but I would encourage you to step into that as a healer, to love your mother and honor her in the way that is right. And even if she's gone or you're not in communication with her, there is still a healing there, whoever you are. And I also know that for mothers, your children are always at your gate. Always. This week I was talking to a mom, and she reminded me that May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. And this friend has an adult son with some pretty serious mental health conditions, and the burden that she carries is tremendous. And all I knew to do was just be with her and witness the incredible, strong-hearted way in which she is showing up and paying attention to be that healing presence of the real in her son's life. I only caught half of it. I eavesdropped on Stacy and Chip this morning. I don't know what you were talking about, but about rowing, and that how sometimes life is, you just want it to be easy paddling, and it's not. I don't know. Am I close? What I know is that there is a cyclical nature of our journey, and that there are times of gently down the stream, and there are always times of struggle. Always. I think that's the way in this human realm that growth is built in. That Dr. Arian does talk about that in the hero's journey, there's a first a call to our next greater good. There is the leaving home, leaving the way that we've been before, and then there is the struggle, always. And then there is the attainment of new gifts and powers, and then the return, where a new call is heard, a new home leaving occurs, and more struggle. We have stigmatized and pathologized struggle in our movement, and I'm done with that. I'm done with it. The struggle is a part of the hero's journey. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of mine. And what I want us to do is to show up and pay attention to what matters. Somebody whose hair has fallen out, whose eyes are full of light. What was that? I'm talking about that story. Not literally, but you know what I mean? When we see people who are struggling, can we be that space of strong-hearted, healing love? That's what I want to talk about. Now let me go to my sermon. No, I'm done. That's it. Let's go ahead and have a prayer right here. We are called to heal, and we are called to be healed. Because we are one with infinite love and infinite wholeness. And what we talk about is that when we reveal the innate wholeness that is already here, we call that healing. And so what I recognize, what I honor, is the healing journey of myself and every person within the sound of my voice. That there is an ongoing rising and releasing. There is an ongoing deepening and strengthening. And we allow it, we welcome it, and we bring our strong-hearted way to this journey of healing for ourselves and for each other. And in this space of collective agreement in this community to welcome and support in this way, what I see is a new arising of possibility and power, new creative ideas and ways that we can be together and singly and individually. Come from this bedrock foundation of being so loved, so real, so held, that we cannot help but simply rise into more and more of the authentic nature that we are. More and more willing to step out, to be courageous, to be strong-hearted in this world that needs us now more than ever. So I celebrate the good. I celebrate the healing that is already happening in me and in all of us, in this church, in this world. We are called to a higher way, and we say yes. And we know that this power of infinite creativity and strength rises in us, carrying us through it. We don't do it alone. That we are held, we are impelled to greatness by the indwelling power of the Christ. How grateful we are. We call it good and let it be. And so it is. Amen. I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know if you're at the calling, you're at the struggle part. I don't know. You're at the homecoming. What I know is you are welcome here, that this is a place where strong-hearted people are committed to loving you. And let me just be one. If no one has told you today that you are worthy of belonging, you are worthy of a life of such joy, you are worthy. If no one has told you today that you are loved, I love you. God bless you.
So grateful to be a part of a spiritual community that has such depth to it, that we create a space to hold the whole of the human experience while also maintaining that awareness of our oneness with the divine. And Reverend Michael, I think you set the tone with your keep coming and keep doing itness. Is definitely. It's not just Reverend Michael, it's not just the ministers, the depth on our music team, the depth with Carol coming up here with the YFM. Yes, YFM. Announcement, all the volunteers, all the ways we hold one another, and all the ways that we're willing to become more and more real and hold one another in that becomingness. And so you can't cheat and look at the screens for the ways to give today. I think you probably have them memorized. We have plenty of them. If you can't remember, come ask me, I'll tell you. But it's because of people like you and people who are watching today that has kept this community of depth, of transformation, of nurturing and empowerment alive for over 100 years now. So will you say with me the offering blessing? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and so it is.
In every thought and every word, I feel the presence in me. In the bright morning sun, as it warms my face, I feel your blessing upon me. I hear you calling, and it draws me into you. I'm growing stronger, knowing everything I am comes from when the eyes of a child look into mine, I know your love is born in me. When the cool evening air dances on my skin, I feel your glory and hold me. You're in my heart, and now I'm moving into you. With every step I take, I'm living, breathing, praying from you. You heal me, you move me, your blessings flowing to me. You lift me, you give me everything when your love shines through me. When your love shines through me, living, breathing, praying from you.
Living, breathing, praying from you.
Everything I am comes from you.
Everything I am comes from you.
Living, breathing, praying from
Living, breathing, praying from
seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing. Everything I am comes from you. You heal me, you move me, your blessings flowing to me. You lift me, you give me everything when your love shines through me. You heal me, you move me, your blessings flowing to me. You lift me, you give me everything when your love shines through me. And welcome, Miss Tatiana Mott.
Woo-hoo! That was beautiful. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Next week, we have a very special edition of our Family Fun Day. It's a puppet show. You don't have to be a kid to go. You just have to love family fun, and it's a $10 suggested love offering. This week at our Wednesday night meditation Sangha will be led by Dr. Mary Fair. That's in the Pyramid at 7 p.m. And it's second Sunday today, so if you're just looking to kind of make some connections or check out our bookstore, you can do both at the same time. Did you know that? You can go over to the bookstore after service. There's lovely people and stuff to buy too if you need a last-minute Mother's Day gift. Our prayer partners will be down front for prayer. Blessings to you all.
Let's welcome our kids to the stage. Come on in, YFN. Come on, come on, come on. We're ready, Peg. Bring them on in. Oh my goodness, how beautiful. Come on. Oh, I love the pink, the boots, and the dress is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Hey, London, how are you, buddy? Oh my goodness, look how beautiful. Yeah, come on up here. Do you want to show us what you made? What you get? Let's see. Show us, Scarlett. Okay, it says, of all the moms in this great big world, how grateful I am that God gave me you. Aren't those beautiful? Hey, this one is the life of the party, I'll tell you that. That's London, in case you haven't met him yet. He's our new ambassador. There they are, over there. I love that kid. We're so glad to have you all here celebrating mothers today. Yeah, that's so beautiful. What do you think? This is why we keep doing what we're doing, so that we can continue to be a space for love for the new generations coming up. So thank you, thank you, kids. Thank you, teachers. A happy Mother's Day to us all. Let's rise as you're able and join in singing our peace song. Happy birthday. me with God as creator. Family all are we.
Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
We have to do this from memory, whoever has it. Let's say the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And today we proclaim God is good all the time. Thank you.
It's a beautiful day
It's a beautiful day.
in a beautiful